Yeah, what's up with y'all boys and girls, man? Hey, it's Jay Briggs here on this Money Making Sunday. Y'all see, man, I got a great crew with me. We finna break down this NFL action. We got Major League Baseball today, and we also got the WNBA playoffs starting today. So, hey, it's a Money Making Sunday. We're out of the dog days of summer. I love continuing to say that because, man, we were in them for a while. But let's make some money today, fellas. Let's make some money today. Um, Everybody knows who you guys are, so let's just go ahead and hop right in, man. We ain't even gonna waste nobody's time today. And if you join late, rewind or catch the replay. Let's go ahead and jump right in. Mitch, you up first today, my man. First game we're talking about the Chargers and the Steelers. This line currently, I think I see Pittsburgh minus 2.5. Your line shopping in this game. How you feeling?
Well, to make things clear, I was not going to be on the show today. I only came on the show because Colorado won that game. I own it. I lost a bundle on it. I know a lot of you guys will be happy to hear that. I got, I was counting my money, all the way into overtime until the fumble, until they ruled it a fumble in overtime. I was still counting my money. But that is college football, and that is the way it is. There's a reason they play the games. Even the bad teams win a couple once in a while and beat teams that are clearly a lot better than them and a lot better coached. But that is the way it is. I think that, watching Deion Sanders call to go for it on fourth down from the 40-yard line in a tie ball game late just shows you just how pathetic of a coach he is, man. And watch his son get drilled again. I mean, whatever, man. Anyways, in this particular game, I think the Chargers, I don't know if Herbert's playing or not. I've heard he wasn't playing, but if it's stick against that defense, I say they're going to get it sticked right to him. I got to go with the Steelers in this one. I know it's the squarest play on the board in the circuit contest. It is the number one pick team, I believe, is the Steelers this week against the Chargers, which is usually the kiss of death in the circa million. But the thing is, in this particular game, I know some pretty sharp bettors that are also on the Steelers, man. So I'm going to take them as well.
There you go. Ruffalo.
Yeah, I'm going to take the under in this one. If Herbert's out, it only just goes to further. But these are two teams that are run heavy, that have taken a run heavy approach to the season. Two strong defensive units as well. I don't trust this. The Steelers are the best time. The Steelers are going to win a lot of games this season with their defense. So I think this is one of those games that it's going to end up on like a weird number, like 18-15 or something like that. So give me the under 35. The low total, I think it's low for a reason.
Alex.
Yeah, you know what? It's hard to argue the total selection here. The Steelers can't really move the ball. They're a defense-first team. They're just going to pound the ball against the Chargers. Whether Herbert plays today or not, the Chargers are a team that also looks like their defense has been solid this year. Maybe a little bit more offensive weapons behind Harbaugh there. But the thing is, with this situation is, let's just look at the numbers here very quickly. So far the Steelers have scored 18 in one game and 13 in another, allowed 6 and 10. And then we've got the also other undefeated team, the Chargers, 22-10, 26-3. If that trending continues, I mean, it's an obvious play on the board for an under here. But there are other trends, long-term trends, that point towards this number being just a little bit too low. So, one or the other. But, sometimes the obvious cashes. And if you're looking at some splits from around the entire market, you're going to see especially at the big books, the under heavily being bet here. So I think I'm going to leave that up to everybody, but the obvious is not always obvious. I'll just leave it with that.
Fair enough. Wayne, how you feeling?
Yeah, even if Herbert doesn't play, I like the Chargers here with the points. I don't give a damn about no sharp. They can stick that damn blade up their ass. I like the offensive line a lot better for the Chargers than this one. I think they can just keep it close. I like the way Harbaugh has been orchestrating this team, straight defense and run, kind of taking the ball out of the quarterback's hand, and regardless. A lot of people talk about this Steelers defense, but for some reason this Chargers defense is not getting the same love. I guess because they played bad teams, but they still handle business. Only allowing 10 and 3 points. Bosa and Matt coming off that edge, they really seem to be clicking early this season. I think the points is valuable in this spot, so I'm gonna take the points with the Chargers.
Fair enough. Brian Biller, how you feeling?
Yeah, I feel like this is the hardest game on the card. I think it's a coin flip as far as the spread goes. And I agree with what Chris said. I think in this situation, the under, even though it's going to be heavily bets to play, you got Pittsburgh's rock solid defense. I think both teams, I think at least the Steelers run heavy, move the clock. I'm going to take the under here.
Javon, how you feeling, sir?
Yeah, don't want to sound like a broken record, but, it is what it is. It's the under's the play. And I don't like, having a position where in a regular season NFL game where, 35 for a total, because you could cough and sneeze and get to 35 points, in these games. But, this season, and last season, it really hasn't been the case with a lot of these games. You see a lot of these games staying under this total. So, both of these teams are run heavy, they're defensive heavy. So I don't expect a lot of scoring. If if both of these teams are driving down the field, the Pittsburgh Steelers have the quarterback play, the stall of drive. So with that said, the under's the play. I think would be a lot of field goal attempts as opposed to touchdowns.
Yeah, I lean under as well, but I would also take the Steelers. I'm still don't know who the Chargers are. They didn't play any good teams yet. And this is Harbaugh's first real test. And on the road against a really good defense with a banged up quarterback is not somewhere I want to be. So I'm taking Tomlin. I'm taking the Steelers and probably the best defense in the league to just wreck another game like we've seen them do all season long. So I don't want to overcomplicate this one. What's the name? Dobbins has been running that football, running that peel for Los Angeles, but we'll see if he can run that peel after getting beat up all game by the Steelers with a limited offensive throwing the ball. So we'll see. But I'll lean Steelers in that football game. All right, fellas, let's keep it rolling. We're going to pair some games. They're going to go 2 games at a time. Next game up, we got the next 2. We're going to go Houston and Minnesota. We got Houston laying 2 on the road. That's a shark versus public game. And we got the Eagles versus Saints. Kind of another shark versus public game. Scoop up you some merch. Link in the comments. Scoop it up. Ruffalo, you're up first here in this one, my man, in this slot. How you feeling?
Yeah, I went back and forth in both these games. Initially, earlier in the week, I was on the Saints. But I think I might still stick with them here just because I also don't know what the Eagles are going to be like without A.J. Brown. We've only seen the one game. But I still think we can go over the total here. I have to admit, I'm still impressed with what I've seen from New Orleans offensively. think they do enough here to put a big dent in this Eagles offense. But I do think that Philly's going to be able to do some damage as well. Jalen Hurts probably gets a touchdown. Saquon Barkley as well. So for me, I take the Saints and I take the over in that one.
Fair enough. Alex, how you feeling in these two?
Yeah, well, there's one game that I guess would stand out here for me, and it comes from a totals situation. It comes from a league-wide totals trend, and that game involves Houston and Minnesota. And this is just interesting to note, and the numbers are also interesting to note. So any team, any NFL team like Houston versus the money line off an upset win as a home favorite. Okay, so I'm using the money line as a parameter here. The average scores there. So the games, I'm not going to worry about what it is, but over a 90-game trending system, we see 44.3 points per game scored here. And I've got probably another 10 different league-wide trends that point to a combined score just under that 46.5 or 46, the latest line, the latest total. So I would lean under on that game. No opinion on the other game at all. To me, it's I always hate to bet against the Eagles. A lot of respect for that team. It's a brand. I know that's obvious, but at the same time, I think the Eagles are a team and a football franchise that continually is underestimated. And, New Orleans has played some great football here to start the season. But once again, I'm going to sit and watch, and I'm going to make some more decisions based on this game for future bets.
Fair enough. Wayne, how you feeling in these two?
Yeah, in this one, we're going to take a look at the New Orleans and Philly. It's a tough game, but I have to lean the Saints way. Just feel like these teams match up defensively. Eagles haven't played as good a defense as the names on paper, but I feel like they'll definitely get it together. And New Orleans has played a little above what people think they can do defensively, and they don't get a lot of credit on that end. But I feel like edge to New Orleans early on the defense, but I really feel like the offense clicking is what's going to do it at home. It's hard not to lay the points with New Orleans. I know we're looking at this Philly team, a Philly team that struggled to cover, a Philly team that hasn't looked so hot at the beginning of the season. So I'm going to take the Saints in that one.
Fair enough. Brian, talk to me, my man. How you feeling?
Yeah, in this one here, I'm going to have to go with the under in the Saints and Eagles. I think people are generally fickle and see the New Orleans Saints put up 91 points through the first two games. I'm not a Carr fan. I don't think the Saints are going to continue to put up points at that number. And the Eagles, I think their defense steps up here. They gave up that late drive to the Falcons. For me, I'm going to take the under 48 Saints Eagles.
There we go. Jovan, how you feeling, sir?
Yeah, for the Philly New Orleans game, it's hard not to take the over in this one, given the fact that we've seen the Saints put up a boatload of points against Dallas and the Panthers. On the other side, you're looking at an Eagles team who their secondary's just trash. They've been trash for the past couple seasons, and I don't see anything, that's going to stop the Saints from putting up points. On the other end, I expect the Eagles to put up some points as well. I expect them to have a more methodical, run oriented, drives when they have the ball. That said, they do have, even though they don't have A.J. Brown, they do have no meat on the bone with their second in command. Why am I drawing a blank on my guy's name? Because he's one of my favorite players in the league. Number 6 for the Eagles. So, with that said, if Jalen Hurts, if he doesn't throw any picks, then, this one's definitely going to go over in my book. As for the Houston game, I'm on Houston. It's just a situation where I'm looking at the game, looking at the looking at the quarterbacks, and I'm going to choose the better quarterback in that one. And that quarterback is C.J. Stroud. So I expect him, I have more trust in him than I do Sam Darnold. Let's just say that.
Fair enough. In this slot, I'm rolling with the Saints. I'm not going to overcomplicate it. I agree with a lot of what Jovan said, and I thought coming into the season, Philly was overrated. I didn't like what I really saw from them too much. Game 1 in Brazil, but I kind of tossed it up to the field. Their defense, didn't look great. But then last week, they didn't look great against Atlanta either. Saints, man, Saints through 2 weeks have been really good. I'm just going to trust my eyes. I'm not going to overcomplicate this one. The Superdome is going to be rocking today. I think the Eagles still overrated, overvalued. I think the Saints are a good football team. Shout out to them. And teams are kind of built to beat their division opponents. So that means they're kind of similar to the division opponents. We just seen the Saints dominate my Cowboys. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Saints caught the Eagles with their pants down as well. There's not a lot of film on the Saints yet. That's the other thing. They're a completely different team offensively from a year ago. So when you don't know what you're looking at, what to stop, it's kind of hard to stop that. You know what I mean? This is a film league. You know what I mean? They spent all week looking at what? Film. And there wasn't a lot of film to take from the Panthers game because it's the Panthers. And the Cowboys game, well, Cowboys didn't have a scheme for it based on that. So we'll see if the Eagles do. I doubt they do. I'm going to take the Saints in that one. That Vikings-Texans, man, oof, it's a tough one. That's probably my toughest game on the board because I could make an argument going both ways. I'm going to take the Texans, though. I trust the Texans offensively more, and I think defensively it's a wash. I think these are probably two of the best defensive minds in the league, though, Brian Flores and DeMeco Ryans. So two bad quarterbacks. I would take both quarterbacks for an interception in this game. That's what I really like here. I think Stroud throws one to this Minnesota defense that's really, really good. Flores and this Minnesota defense been causing havoc. And on the other side, we know what the Texans defense does. And Sam Darnold, we've already heard him say he sees ghosts against good defenses. So give me both INTs from both teams. If I had to pick a side in that game, I would lean Houston. Mitch?
Eagles on the money line for me. Probably lay some points on this one. I think the Saints are a little bit overrated here and overstated. I mean, they have won 6 of their last 7 or 5 of their last 6, but 2 of those wins were against the Panthers.
Eagles have lost what? 2 of their last.
Yeah, but it's my turn, and basically, I think winning 3 games in a row in the NFL is just one of the hardest things that there is to do. You just don't see it, and you don't see too many teams run these unbeaten streaks too far to start the season. I think last year we made it to like week 4 before there was no more unbeatens. And I think, on any given Sunday, anything can happen. And, we saw, like the Cowboys blow up the Browns in week 1. Then we see the Browns bust up the Jaguars on the road in week 2. And the Cowboys look like doormats against, the same Saints team. And, you can trust the Saints to not lay an egg all season. That ain't going to happen either, man. This is the NFL, man. Nobody wins 3 in a row, especially not the New Orleans frickin' Saints. I'll just take the Eagles on the money line based on that alone. On the other side of it, you got 2 unbeaten teams, right, in the Texans and the Vikings, but the Texans haven't covered a spread yet this season. Now going into Minnesota, where it's a super tough building, pretty much way underrated the way that this building is. And to me, I think the Texans are the squarest play on the board. This is like, just absolute chump change because the Texans just people gushing over this team before the season even started. These worst to first teams generally take a step back, the next year. And while the Texans have gotten 2 wins, it was kind of nip and tuck there. The Chicago Bears, were moving the ball on him. Imagine when Sam Darnold gets his hands on him, what it's going to look like out there. He just got to give Sam some space, let him create and take over. And I think that's what's going to happen here. Jefferson, of course, is going to play, and he creates problems for everybody. I don't care who you are. So I'm going to take the Vikings at home. I think what you have here is, a tight spread and what could be a tight game. I'd way rather have points with a home team in that situation any day of the week. So I'm going to take both dogs in these 2 games.
Fair enough. Let's keep it rolling. We got the Broncos and the Bucks and the Packers and the Titans. It is...
It's all Mitch all the time.
Go ahead.
People just tuned out. We just lost like half our viewers.
Who you got in this one?
It's me again?
Yeah,
It can't be me.
I don't think it is. I'm playing. It's Alex.
I don't even know what games it is. I was just talking.
Broncos, Bucks, Packers, Titans.
Yeah, that Denver game sort of stands out. I just don't trust Sean Payton. I know Denver's a big bet. I think over at Circa too. I saw that Denver had a lot of backers there, but he's 0-5 in September games. First month of the season. I mean, it takes a while for Payton and company to get going. Looking at the other side of this, the under also looks kind of interesting too because Todd Bowles. When his team is away in a neutral game after 2 more consecutive wins, which he's got 2 wins. Can you believe that? Tampa Bay's already got 2 wins. He's gone under 5 straight times, and the average combined score only clicks in at 33.2 points per game. So I'm going to fade Denver. I mean, it's not popular right now, and I'm going to go with the under in that game. And as far as Green Bay goes, I love Green Bay, and the key word is love. He's my favorite up-and-coming quarterback in the league. Numbers sort of speak wonders for him too. If you really look at his in-depth data, Green Bay all the way in that game.
Fair enough. Next up, Wayne, how you feeling?
Yeah, I'm with Alex on that Green Bay, Tennessee. I just feel like we're getting a better team with points. Anytime you're getting a better team with points, I really don't even care about the quarterback situation with how Green Bay defense turned around. I know week one it kind of struggled against Philly. I mean, it's the Phillies, one of the most prolific offenses in the NFL when they actually get things going. Green Bay's defense solid. Tennessee can't trust Will Levis. Even if the game is close, we see what he does. Happy feet, throw interception. He just takes the team completely out of the game. Long story short, Green Bay and how can I not look Tampa Bay's way? One of the most balanced teams in the NFL. Strong defensively. Everybody's talking about how last week a lot of guys missing on defense, secondary. Guys stepped up. We still smacking teams. Don't trust what I'm seeing out of Denver. Even when Bo Nix plays well, he just seems not to have the pieces. Like just not a lot of playmakers on the receiver. They're trying to dink and dunk, but if you dink and dunk, the guys who can't get over 10 yards or can't break a tackle, it just leads to a lot of 3-and-outs. And I don't see nothing changing from that going against this Tampa team. So I'm gonna ride with Tampa Bay there.
Fair enough. Javon or Brian, I'm sorry. How you feeling?
This is a tough section here, but I think I'm going to go with the Tennessee Titans and lay the points. It's going to take more than one good game from Malik Willis for me to be sold on him. Packers defense is great, and they got up for Malik last week. But this is Tennessee 0-2, straight up 0-2 against the spread. They're at home. I'm going to take lay the points here with the Tennessee Titans.
Javon, how you feeling?
Yeah, looking at these two, first off, I'm on the Bucks in this one. You're dealing with a Broncos team who I just can't trust Bo Nix in this spot. I can't trust a quarterback, any quarterback who's going to throw the ball to the other team. And that's what we've seen out of Bo Nix. And until he can clean up his interception woes, I'll be fading him, early and often. That's just the way it is in this one. The Green Bay game, this I was thinking long and hard about putting this as a premium play, but I just couldn't get there with Malik Willis. Quarterbacks do matter in this league. So, that said, I do like him. It's a lean, free player. I'll give it up as that. On the other side, you have, Levis, and he's a bum. And he makes inexplicably dumb decisions on the field. So you have two quarterbacks who, they're not bet on QBs, but I trust the brain trust in Green Bay over the brain trust in Tennessee. So given all that, I'll take the points with the Packers.
Yeah, for me in this slot, I'm taking the Bucks too. I don't trust Bo Nix. And now you want me to trust them on the road against Tampa? I think Tampa is like the most underrated team in the league. Simple. I think people forget Tampa won a playoff game last year. Tampa put Philly out the playoffs last year, and everybody is so in love with Philly. They just handled the Lions last week. Everybody in love with the Lions. And nobody really talking about them Bucks and Baker Mayfield. They just flying under the radar. And that's the type of team I like. I think they beat the brakes off the Broncos. They probably strangle the Broncos. I like an under in this game, too, because I just don't see the Broncos doing much offensively at all. Rookie quarterback on the road. Alex told you Sean Payton as a coach sucks in September. All the pieces come together that the better team should beat the bad team. So not overcomplicating that one. I'll lay it with the Bucks. That Titans-Packers, I thought long and hard about this football game, man. I still see Jordan Love questionable, so that's still up in the air. I don't really know what to do with that, but I'm starting to think it's going to be Malik Willis. We're starting to see this line grow here on Sunday. It's now 3 for the Titans. I'm going to lay it with the Titans, man, and I got to preface this the right way. I've been on the Titans back-to-back weeks. I had Titans in week 1 and week 2, and I'm disgusted with the Titans. I'm disgusted with Will Levis, but you got to kind of look at each week as an independent week. And if I'm getting Malik Willis on the road against basically his former team, I know it's a new coaching regime, but he was in the building with these guys for a little bit. They kind of got the book on him. Last week at home, kind of protected in Lambeau against another rookie quarterback, essentially, and Anthony Richardson was a good place for him. Now on the road against a solid defense in Tennessee, I don't trust the Pack. Lower scoring game. I think the Titans back up against the wall, looking to avoid going down 0-3 this season, probably pull it out. There's a reason Tennessee's favored by 3 at home, in my opinion. So that's the way I'm going to lean in that one. Mitch.
When I look at that Broncos game against the Bucs, all I can think about is, God, I don't know if I have it in me to watch another Broncos game. I watched that game last week against the Steelers. Well, I had the Bengals and Chiefs on the other TV, but I watched primarily that game, and there was literally a penalty on every single play. We went through it on our recap on the morning show, and I think 26 total penalties, 19 accepted in that game. It was brutal. It was one of the toughest watch I'll ever have. And throwing Bo Nix, just throwing the ball to the wrong team consistently. And he was pretty much on his bicycle all game. So a lot of those stats that you see from that game are not real stats because the plays got called back and all this other stuff. So you don't really, there's so many other things that happen in that game. You pretty much have to almost take those numbers and throw them out the window. 19 accepted penalties. That means 19 plays that didn't happen. Basically a quarter of the game, right? That just didn't happen. So I think in this one, though, I think the Bucs are playing well. A lot of sharp action on the Broncos today. I know that they're just super public-y dog, though, is what they're starting to look like. I'm going to take the Bucs in that one. On the other side of it, we got the Packers and the Titans, and I see Will Levis under center. And I tell you what, I'm going to have to add these guys to the do not bet list for Jay, just so he has it in writing, because I see Will Levis there, and I just think to myself, I haven't seen quarterback play this bad, decision making this poor since, Daniel Jones in week 1 against the Vikings. This is like really hideous. Just deplorable, man. It's like, what are you doing, man? It's like that throw against the Bears, that interception against the Bears that went for the touchdown could be one of the worst throws of the last 10 years. That's how bad it is. It could even go worse than that. One of the worst decisions. It's like, not only do all you have to do is throw the ball out of bounds, he throws it right to a guy running a 40-yard dash right in the chest coming down the sidelines with nobody around him. It's like in a tight game. It's like he just doesn't have that decision making, right? Where it's like sometimes, you hear the guys on TV, while I rarely agree with much that they say, I do agree with this. Sometimes it's better to just take the sack, man. And this guy just does not know how to do that. Watch Shedeur Sanders, man. There's a guy that knows how to take a sack, right? He takes a lot of them. So it's like, just do that. You just don't have to run 10 yards backwards before taking it. Just kind of do the Dante Culpepper, go down.
If the Titans lose today, then we can add them.
No, they're going, man. It's like,
oh man, Chris, how you feeling here?
Oh Lord, I'm trying to see if I can find if I'm looking to parlay anything in these two games, the Bo Nix and Will Levis interception parlay, plus 185 for those two. But man, this one, these two are tough because the Broncos do look public doggy, but it's just like, I don't know, something feels weird about this because the Broncos, when all has been said and done, they've looked competitive, at the end of each of those first two games. Or at least the final scores have been competitive. I'll still lean towards the Bucs there just because, like you guys have said, the Broncos on the road. Bo Nix has looked like a completely different completely different quarterback than what he's been in the preseason. The Broncos offense have been good in the preseason, but now you get to the regular season, it hasn't mattered. So give me the Bucs there. And Packers Titans, I think I still got to stick with the under in another one of those ugly 16-10 kind of games. So Bucs and the under in Packers Titans for me.
Fair enough. That's everybody in this slot, right? I think that's everybody. Yep. All right, let's keep it rolling. We got the Giants and the Browns, and the Bears and the Colts. Ugh. Two ugly games. Brian, you're up.
Oh boy, really stick me here. Out of this grouping here, I was close to taking the Bears as a premium pick, and I scratched it off late. Maybe that was a mistake. I just think the line really looks like they're begging you into taking the Indianapolis Colts, and we saw what they did in Green Bay. Now, it is a week-to-week sport for sure, but I think this Bears defense is going to turn Anthony Richards over a couple times. I think the Bears end up getting a surprise victory. I know +1 really isn't much of a surprise, but I'm going to take the Chicago Bears plus any points you can get.
Fair enough. Wayne, how you feeling?
Yeah, we're going to go to this New York and Cleveland game. It's one of the lower totals on the board, one of the lowest totals for these two teams in a while. And I like the under here. Dealing with two heavily sacked teams, two teams that can actually get after the quarterback. I feel like these quarterbacks both are going to be running for their lives in this game. Two teams that haven't really established a run much in these games. I just see a lot of 3-and-outs, a lot of bad offenses. Giants defense has been coming along. After week 1, they struggled, but I know it was against a Washington team, but I liked what I seen. I liked that there wasn't really much quit in them despite them not getting the loss. And Cleveland defense has been keeping them in games since. So it's really about what their offense is going to do. But long story short, I can definitely see the under in this one.
Fair enough. Jovan, how you feeling?
Yeah, I'm on the G, man. Plain and simple. I'm really just playing the number. The Cleveland Browns at this point shouldn't be laying 6.5. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Deshaun Watson, he looked better last week, but he's not the same quarterback as he once was. Hasn't been for quite some time. It's really with this one, the Browns defense, they don't look the same as well. That's one of the things that I've looked at with the Browns, and I like to back the Browns whenever I can, but not as favorites of nearly a touchdown. So it's really just look at the number, and something's not adding up, and I think that for all the faults that the Giants have, that I think they could do just enough to keep this within the number. So that's that on that. And as far as the Bears and Colts game, looking at Anthony Richardson, he's really, if it wasn't for his athletic ability, he really shouldn't be an NFL quarterback. I mean, these numbers that he's putting up, the completion rates that he's putting up is just god awful. It's the type of numbers that get you benched. But he throws a good deep ball, and he could run his way out of trouble. So that's the reason why he's on the field. That said, I think that we have the better quarterback in Caleb Williams, and he hasn't shown anything in this league yet. So the edge in this one is the Chicago Bears defense. They're above and beyond anything that the Colts can muster on their side of the ball when they have their players on defense. So I think their defense is going to carry them through in this one for a win, just like in game 1.
Fair enough. For me here, Giants, Browns, I'm not in love with. Forced to pick because that's what we're doing here. I would take the Giants. I'm not putting a dime of my hard-earned money on the Giants, though, and Daniel Jones. The best play in this game didn't cash last week, surprisingly. Didn't cash last week, but we're still up on the season because of the tremendous week 1 is the Daniel Jones INT, okay? Take the Daniel Jones INT to the window, and you'll be just fine. This Browns defense, remember, they were the best defense a season ago. Are they that good this season? No, they're not best in the league, but they're still above average, and I expect them to play well today. And I don't feel comfortable laying that many points with the Browns is why I would lean towards the Giants. So that's how I would feel. I really like the Daniel Jones INT, and maybe even a Deshaun Watson INT too. Take them both. They probably both throw one. Bears, Colts. I'm taking the Colts. The Bears, I'm not taking the Bears to win a game basically on the road. I'm not doing it. Rookie quarterback, bad offense, defense can't stop the run. And what the Colts finna do? The Colts don't need to throw the ball here. The Colts finna run the ball right down their throat. And the Bears, can they stop it is really the $1,000,000 question. And I don't think so. I think this is probably going to be the Anthony Richardson game. People are going to be asking questions like, damn. I think many people really going into this game think Caleb Williams is the better quarterback. After this game, I think there'll be some question marks. I used to hate Anthony Richardson, but for what the Colts ask him to be, ask him to do for the game plan, think he's perfect, and I think it works and executed today. Taking the Colts and laying the points. Mitch.
I think the Caleb Williams interception prop is one of the best bets on the board today. I think he's one of the worst quarterbacks in the league, and I think he'll go down as one of the biggest busts. The Bears are known for busting out with quarterbacks and with first-round picks. Cade McNown, Mitch Trubisky, Caleb Williams, just goes on and on. In fact, they haven't had a quarterback since Jim McMahon played there. The thing is that up against a Colts team that still that Colts, man, they still beat themselves just a lot. But I think in this one, I think it's one of those games where it's like both these teams are kind of like that ball bouncing around on the turf type teams, or it takes this funny bounce and bounce up and whatever. I just think the Colts have a better rushing attack, and I think that's going to be the difference in this one. I think with Richardson also, I think he's just a more dynamic player than Caleb Williams is a system quarterback, and he can't do anything but throw to a spot, and I think that's the difference here. Richardson has the ability to create, while Williams is a throw to a spot guy, and throw to spot guys rarely last long in the NFL, and I think Williams really have unceremonious they'll drag around on, a couple rosters on the bench holding the clipboard, but that's about it for him. He is a great cheerleader, though, as we saw in week 1. The thing is, he did win the Clappy Award for week 1, clapping for all his teammates, making up for his sub 60-yard throwing performance. On the other game, it was the
Giants, Browns.
Oh God. Most people know I'm not an NFL guy. I'm not enamored with the NFL. It's probably like 5 or 6 on my list of sports that I like, right? I like college basketball better than it. I like college football better than it. I even like baseball probably better than the NFL. But the thing is that the thing because they took away all the things that I love about the NFL, right? The horse collar tackle, all that kind of stuff that I really liked about it. But I do like I'm a defensive guy. I don't play fantasy football, right, because I only like defense. And the thing is that one of the things that they still have in the NFL is quarterbacks getting crushed in the pocket. And you see Daniel Jones against Myles Garrett. I'm going to watch this one just because I saw Trevor Lawrence running for his life last week, getting absolutely slaughtered by this Browns defense, who looked very much the part of the number 1 defense in the NFL against the Jaguars. You guys didn't see that game. Jacksonville didn't get a yard in the first 3 quarters of that game. They finally scored they kicked like a bomber field goal off of like a fluky thing or in the first half, but in the second half, they didn't even get a whiff of scoring. It wasn't like a fumble, Travis Etienne fumble in the end zone. There was nothing like that going on. It was just an absolute defensive beatdown. So when you have a guy like Daniel Jones against this pass rush, because a guy like Myles Garrett just opens it up for everybody else, right? He's the guy. First they try it with 1 guy, then they try it with 2, then they try it with 3, then they just give up, right? But everybody else, it's a jailbreak on every freaking play. So Daniel Jones against a jailbreak pass rush, I just do not like the Giants' chances there. This one could be week 1 for them all over again, like that Vikings game. And I don't think Deshaun Watson has to do much. The Browns running game is certainly a concern. I like the way that Watson actually distributed the ball last week. And I like the way that Jerry Jeudy actually made a couple catches, man. In fact, he converted some big 3rd downs for them in that game, which was weird because it was like, who is that? Right. And they kept saying it's Jerry Jeudy. I'm like, no, it isn't, because that's not our Jerry Jeudy, It's like, it was weird. It was like because normally, it was just a strange thing to see, but he actually had 5 catches for 73 yards. In what world? But I'm going to go with the Browns in this one. I don't even think Deshaun Watson has to do much. I don't really think he has to do anything at all. I don't think the Giants score a point.
Fair enough. Ruffalo.
Yeah, I'm going to add Daniel Jones to that. Bo Nix and the interception parlay. I'm gonna add Daniel Jones to that.
Add Caleb, man. Caleb's a good one.
I don't think he can throw the ball near a receiver enough that it can be picked off. I think he might air.
Well, he just throws to the spot.
Yeah, true. Well, I'll do 2 parlays and I'll add Caleb Williams to that one too.
But by the way, you guys know that the USC Trojans are on the do not bet list, right? Everyone understands that, right?
They are.
They understand it now even further.
The list, man, it's on fire rolling into the new season.
It is, man. Carolina Panthers, Washington Commanders, Atlanta Hawks, Shador Sanders for Heisman, hashtag we coming.
Yeah.
Raptors, USC football, and Kings as a road favorite. This is gold.
Yeah.
Sorry, Chris. Go ahead.
I'm gonna take
Carry on, counselor.
overrule. I'm gonna take the Browns here. It's the only one I like these two. Because that Colts and Bears can just, I don't know, it just gives me the creeps. But I think that the Browns just, take out some frustration on the Giants here. Like Mitch said, I don't think the Browns have to do very much. The Giants will find a way to shoot themselves in the foot. This may be the game to take Daniel Jones 3 interceptions. Yeah, I think he's gonna have a long day. So
I think the sack numbers could get up there too.
There you go. So give me the Browns in this one.
Fair enough. And Alex.
Yeah, and how can you argue about that? The Chicago team. Like Mitch said, first round draft picks. Supposedly top tier quarterbacks that are going to change the team around. Every preseason, we hear the same stuff over and over again. But what's interesting is, so when Chicago is in a way or a neutral situation, and they've gained less than 150 yards in their previous game. This is dating back all the way to 2022. They're 0-8 ATS. And the average point per game differential in those situations when they've just been completely futile has been 15.4 points per game. So, looking at what's happened in the past and, looking at Williams and looking at the Chicago team and the hopeism that surrounds it, you gotta just bet against them. I mean, that's the situation I'm looking at, and dating back to the first month of the season, with all that hype in the preseason, it always follows up. They can't score, and they constantly start slowly. So 10 games over the last 10 games in the first month of the season, first half scores, Bears average just under 8 points a game. So barely a touchdown, and they just start slow constantly. So they shoot themselves in the foot. And you just can't play a team like Indianapolis like that. You gotta get out and you gotta score, and I don't think they can do it. So anyway, that's where I'm at on that. I'm completely on fading the Bears here. And that other game, Giants. I only can say one thing about the Giants. So you look at a number like 6.5, and you say, hey, that's a square number. I'm not going to lay 6.5 points to go against the Giants. It's only a square number if you lose. And that's under a touchdown. That's not a square number. So feel confident in laying points against a team like this. If you feel that the Giants are that bad, which I feel they are, they're on the same, I think, linear path as maybe Carolina. And I know that might be being harsh, but I really do believe that. 6.5 points, you're not laying too many points with Cleveland.
Might be onto something there, Alex. Might be onto something. Let's keep it rolling, ladies and gentlemen. Let's keep it rolling. Speaking of them Carolina Panthers, they're in this next slot against the Raiders, who are laying 5.5, and we also have the Miami Dolphins and the Seattle Seahawks. So we got two backup quarterbacks getting starts in this slot. Hey, it is Wayne's up first in this one. Wayne, how you feeling?
Yeah, it's definitely one of the uglier spots on the board. I am going to take Carolina with the points here. With the new news that Dalton is starting. Dalton is not as bad as Bryce Young. If you really looked at them Carolina games, this guy Bryce Young has had guys wide open all over the field. Although he's been running for his life every other play, the plays where he's not running for his life, you got to get it done. You got Thielen, you got young receivers scorching open, and you're not even looking their way. I think Dalton can complete them passes. I think Dalton can get them in field goal range, and this Carolina defense is not as bad as it looks. Yeah, it's an ugly one, but I'm gonna take Carolina in that one with the points. And as far as that Miami and Seahawks game, it's another tougher game, weird game for me. I want to. It's hard to trust Miami, as many weapons as they have. Definitely with the unknown of the quarterbacks. Seahawks are feeling pretty square right here. My gut feeling is telling me I'm Miami, but at the same time, I do not like what I've seen from them. Definitely out of them Bills. They got beat by Josh Allen on his feet, one-dimensional kind of Bills team. I just didn't like what I see, so I'm gonna lean with the Seahawks.
Fair enough. Brian. Is it Brian? No, it's Javon. Sorry.
Yeah, looking at this Carolina Panthers game, I really have no choice but to be on the Panthers, just on the strength that they made a quarterback change, and that should do something substantial on their offense in a positive way. Should be a benefit to them, because they haven't been able to get a sniff of the red zone, let alone the end zone. So, with that said, the Raiders, they did perform last week, but in that performance, I expect a letdown in this game. So, give me the Carolina Panthers to keep it close. Take the points.
Fair enough. Hey, I've been on the Panthers in back-to-back weeks, and it's really been disgusting. This week, I feel like they're the play, bro. They're the play. It's just one of those you got to plug your nose and take them. We got the Raiders coming off a really overrated, overvalued win. I mean, what I mean that is, or not overrated, overvalued win, but a public win, like a big win on the road against a good team, quote unquote, in the Ravens. That next game is usually a letdown spot, especially against the worst team in the league. So, I'm not saying the Raiders lose, but what I'm saying is I don't feel comfortable laying points with them. So I would lean towards the Panthers with the points. Am I going to the window with it? It's the right play, but man, I can't. So I'm just going to be real with you. I can't go to the window with it. I thought long and hard about it. I couldn't do it. Dolphins, Seahawks. I'm going to take the Dolphins. I'm not going to overcomplicate this one. I sat there and thought about it. I'm not all that high on Tua. Everybody loves them some Tua Tagovailoa. He's a game manager distributor. Skylar Thompson, come in here and just be a game manager distributor, please. And y'all should beat the Seahawks outright. I don't think Tua really elevates the Dolphins in the same manner many people think. Is he a solid quarterback? Yes. But does he elevate this team to another level? I don't think so. So I'm not really asking Skylar to do too much. The Seahawks, this is still a team. They've had a solid start to the season, Coach. McDonald? Solid start to the season. But I'm gonna take the Dolphins, and I think the Dolphins are actually probably one of my favorite plus money dogs on the board today. I think they have a legitimate chance to go up there, and beat them boys outright. Talent for talent, like just pure talent on the field. I think the Dolphins are the better team, and I think the gap between Geno Smith and Skylar Thompson is way closer than many people would think. Fins up. Mitch.
Seahawks for me, easy money. Dolphins are just straight ass. You got just a really, really bad coach. And I mean, when you have a coach like this, you just can't win football games. Playing in one of the tougher buildings in all of football, the longest road trip in the NFL that there is mileage-wise. Just a bad spot for the Dolphins. McDaniel loves the built-in excuse. He's got a bunch of them here. He's missing his quarterback. He's got the road trip. Seattle, all it's got to do is rain. And then this guy, of course, he melts like the Wicked Witch of the West. Let's hopefully his tenure in Miami will be numbered. We're going to have to eat that contract renewal, but who cares, man? Been eating contracts for years in Miami, and we're just sick of this guy already, man. He just makes me sick. Taking the Seahawks. Hopefully it's a blowout of epic proportions so people finally stop saying the word genius next to this guy. Meanwhile, in the other matchup, this one is simple because I got it written down right here. Number one on the do not bet list is the Carolina Panthers. Just keep it nice and easy for everybody. We just keep it here. We got a nice little plastic sleeve that this list goes into so it doesn't get damaged, so you have it year after year. But it's very, very easy. It says Carolina Panthers. We haven't altered the list. We haven't changed. I didn't break it out for this show. The list is the list, and it is here for a reason. The only alteration that's ever been made to the list was the line drawn through USC Hoops. That was because they started to cover last year at the end of the year after the Bronny hype when we were just fading them like no one's business and cashing tickets. Now, the thing is that aside from that, you also have to remember that while, there's certain teams out there that they only win on opening day, right at home. There's been in NFL history, there's been teams that have only won their home opener and never won another game the rest of the season, right? And the thing is, for the Raiders, this is their home opener. I know it's week 3 of the season, but this is their home opener, man. And we all go to Vegas, right? And we know they love their Raiders, man. They love them. They love them. And I think they're going to be pretty excited. I think Andy Dalton is a better option than Bryce Young. I hated that number 1 overall draft choice too when people were gushing over this guy, right? We bashed the crap out of him on our show. We got a few death threats on that one, but it happens. But the thing is that, Andy Dalton, we've seen the good Dalton and bad Dalton in these type of situations, but what we see here is the old Dalton, right? And we know that. See, once again, you have that situation where a kind of immobile quarterback in the pocket against a really good pass rusher. I like Matt Crosby to get a sack. Chris, add that to your parlay you got going over there, counselor. Your witness.
Sorry, I'm just adding it to the parlay now. Give me the Seahawks here. I'm not trusting Skylar Thompson going to the 12th man and got the job done. I think that, the Dolphins could have a couple of the better players on the field in Tyreek Hill. They'll have the best running back on the field in Devin A-Chain, but I think just as a cumulative unit, I think that the Seahawks are the better team here. I think they win this one by a touchdown. So I'm taking the Seahawks in that one. And yeah, I'll add Max Crosby to the to the parlay.
Fair enough. Alex.
Yeah, you got to be tipped with my choice here in Miami because Mitch usually has a pretty good feel for those Florida games. And, I've listened to him talk about Florida. Anything from Florida related in a team, you've got to
except for Florida State against Georgia Tech. I'm still eating shit on that one. I mean, I've had 20 other winners, including but that one I'm still eating shit on.
What happens? But you got 2 games here now. Looking at the long-term trends. So we got Carolina and Miami that fit this trend. So the road underdog of 3.5 to 10 points off a home loss by 10 or more points in the first month of the season. That's been money in the bank since 2015. A 26-5 ATS run, 84% conversion rate, an ROI of over 60%. You got to look at those closely. From my end, I look at Miami, and I really think they're better than a lot of people give them credit for. I know they were pretty hyped, and they really haven't lived up to expectations, and there's been a lot of crashes. I mean, and I know where people are coming from, but I still believe Miami has enough in the tank to come out with a win here against a Seattle team that some irrational exuberance, I think, is surrounding right now. And, but Carolina, I don't care what the trends say. I just can't put money on a team till they prove me absolutely wrong. And that is, they are absolutely putrid. They have to be the worst team in the league. What's Dalton going to do? What's he worth a touchdown? Maybe. But, what about the other 30 or 40 points that are going to go on the board from the opposing side? I can't do it. So anyway, I'll leave that. Carolina is just a wash. I'm not even going to think about them even though the league-wide trends. Miami, I think, does have enough. And Tua, it is very correct. He is a game distributor. And under these kind of circumstances, which I would consider almost to be desperate at this point, at an 0-2 point in the season, I mean, he's the guy you want under quarterback to run your schemes and get the job done. Just get the job done.
There you go. Brian, how you feeling?
Oh, this is a tough spot. Overall, I like to buy low, sell high. I mean, how do you get any lower than the Carolina Panthers? You can't get much lower than that. Las Vegas, that big road win over the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, they're definitely, I think, a little bit overvalued here. Andy Dalton, experienced starting NFL quarterback. What worries me about Carolina is every one of my capper friends that I talk to has Carolina. So that kind of scares me a little bit. But I think they can keep this game within a field goal. I'm going to take the Panthers plus the points.
Fair enough. Next slot, fellas.
Andy Dalton is 83-78-2 as a career starter.
He's not too bad. I mean,
No, I mean they made the
Minshew.
playoffs every year in Cincinnati for a while. Of course, they never won a playoff game, but
Gardner Minshew's no superstar.
Well, he could be.
And I don't have a do not bet list. You can't have a do not bet list.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, you can. I got it right here.
I like the crappy teams. Give me the crappy teams.
Well, if you bet on these teams, you've lost a lot of money, especially the Kings as a road favorite, especially that one. I mean, people have lost their lives literally betting.
The only team on my do not bet list is the Hurricanes.
Well, it's working out real well for you this season.
Well, no, Brian's list also includes every home team that played the Arizona Diamondbacks in the 2021 season.
Brian hasn't had his ass kicked by the Hurricanes this bad since the Final Four run in the NCAA.
Oh yeah.
Woo. Yep, we went there.
Hey, man.
And it's walking through the MGM Grand with his shorts falling down because of all the money in the pocket.
Speaking of teams getting the crap kicked out of, my Cowboys got their bell run last week at home. And they got them Ravens coming in this week. It's probably the game of the week, game of the day. I know everybody's excited about this one. And we also got, I think, another really good game in the Lions and the Cardinals. So Baltimore laying 1, Detroit laying 3. Jovan, you're up first in this slot, my man.
Yeah, and as far as that Detroit Lions and Arizona Cardinals game, you look at this, even though it's a high total, I'm gonna take the over in this one. Now, I usually look towards the under when I see high totals like this, but given the fact that we, seen an Arizona team, even though they only gave up 10 points, it was right for the picking, to score more. It's just that. The Rams, they can't block anybody. So Matt Stafford was on his back a lot. But this is a team that's going to give up a lot of points. And given the fact that Detroit didn't look so good, on offense, I expect a bounce back performance from them on the offensive side of the ball. On the other end, Detroit's defense, they're dealing with some injuries, and they haven't looked so good on that side of the ball as well. They got shredded last week. So I expect a lot of points in this one from both teams. I think it's going to be one of those shootout type of games where both teams get to 30, and that's an over for me. So that's that on that. Also, on the Ravens and Cowboys game, you're seeing two defenses that's not looking like their old selves, especially the Baltimore Ravens, because they're perennially one of the best defenses in the league, and they're just not looking like the same squad. Got a lot of younger players, that I guess they don't know the culture. So with that said, I expect a high scoring game in this one as well. You're looking at a Dallas team who they're undersized on the defensive side of the ball, and they're getting manhandled, So I expect a bit of a shootout in this one too. Both of these teams they need to win. Baltimore more so than the Cowboys, but that said, Cowboys in Dallas after getting beat the way they did, they got taken behind the woodshed. Yeah, I think that Dak performs as well. So give me the over in both those games.
Fair enough. Short, sweet, simple. I'm on my Cowboys. Look, 2022, y'all know our home record, 8-1. Last year, y'all know our home record, including playoffs, 8-1. Last two seasons combined, we've only lost twice at home. Y'all know we've now lost back-to-back home games, and going back to last season, at home to Green Bay in the playoffs, and then the Saints. Dak Prescott in his career, has never lost 3 home games in a row. On the flip side of this is the Lamar stat that's going crazy. We all know how dominant Lamar Jackson is against NFC opponents. He is 20-1 in his career against the NFC. And that only loss was to the Giants when they were up 10 early in that football game. So I'm well aware of who Lamar Jackson and this Baltimore Ravens team is. But rolling into this season, I was telling everybody I'm expecting the Ravens to take a major step back. this team lost a ton of people, and they had to pay the top of their roster. And when we see that happens all the time. What made the Ravens so good in years past was they were deeper than a lot of the teams they were playing. That is no longer the case. When I look at both teams' games from last week, I think Dallas just got caught with its pants down against a team they had no real film on to attack. I think the Ravens just got beat. The Cowboys took them behind the shed. Okay, we know what happens in the league, in the NFL. When you get down 2 touchdowns and you have to pass, the games get out of hand. And I think that's just exactly what happened in that football game. Shout out to the Saints. I give them credit for doing that. They got the new hot toy offensively and Mr. Kubiak, and they put belt to ass here in Dallas last week. I don't think the Ravens will do that. I got questions about that Ravens defense. I don't know if y'all watched Minshew dot them boys up last week. I definitely think Dak and CD will do the same here. Everybody, the public is all over the Ravens in this one. Nobody sees the Ravens falling down 0-3. I don't see my Cowboys losing 3 straight at home. I'll take my Cowboys at home, who have been dominant. We're getting great value on them because of how bad they got beat last week. Don't ever complicate this one, man. Give me the Cowboys. And the other one, I'm taking the Cardinals. The Lions, another team, overrated and overvalued based on last season. And I think that's what's up with the Ravens too. Overrated and overvalued based on last season. Based on what we've seen thus far this season, the Lions, they narrowly escaped against a Rams team who, in hindsight, might be one of the worst teams in the league. And then last week, we know what happened. They lost outright as 8-point favorites. This Cardinals team should be 2-0. They should have beat the Bills in week 1, bro. They should have beat the Bills in week 1. And last week was the Cardinals team I've been expecting this. I expect to see this season. Kyler Murray is him. He's been him. And I'm expecting this team to get it going, man. It's probably going to be a close to the vest late game, but I'm getting 3 with the home team. Sign me up. I also would play the Cardinals straight up on the money line. Lions, overrated and overvalued. I think they are a cover machine, or at least they were in years past, but now they have expectations this year. And I don't want to be falling for those expectations. Laying 3 on the road against a good team, up-and-coming team, who the books and many of the public may not know how good they are quite yet, is exactly the spots I like to put myself in. Give me the Cardinals in this football game. Mitch.
Yeah, the thing about the Saints last week against the Cowboys, the weird thing is that, we always think of the Saints as this great home team in the dome, right? But actually, over the last 10 years, they're the 3rd best road team in the NFL. They're with the Patriots and the Chiefs discussion, is where they are in that rarefied air. But the Ravens over the last 5 years, 27-14 on the road. They're in the discussion over the last 5 years. Meanwhile, the Cowboys at home, 29-12 over the last 5 years, 71%, man, of the time they win at home. So the thought of them losing twice in a row at home just doesn't happen all that much. But then again, you got that 3-0 and 0-3. This is a throwout game any way you slice it, man. I'm just going to take the over. I think that this game is going to come down to the big play, and I think there's going to be a lot of big plays in this game, and I think there's going to be a lot of mucking around in between. And a lot of big plays, surrounded by a lot of big plays, enough to get over this pretty, moderate total. So I'll go with the over in the Ravens Cowboys. And the other one, I don't like to go with sexy picks too often. The other one, though, I mean, man, you got 2 teams that are offense first and offense second. You got lousy pass defenses going at it. I think these are 2 of the worst pass defenses in the NFL. The Cardinals and the Lions. So, I mean, I'm going to say it here. This sets up to be one of the top with today's rules, right? And this type of matchup in a dome, this could be one of the top 10 highest scoring NFL games in history. This sets up for it because the Lions pass rush is their pass defense. And I think that Hutchinson has a 0.0 Blutarski chance of catching Kyler Murray, of running him down. I would say 0.0. And this guy can throw on the run like Michael Vick. I mean, really, he is that kind of stuff. I think we're going to see just a ton of points. I like the Cardinals in this one in a game that's just an absolute shootout. Last one with the ball. type games. I had Cardinals over same game parlay in that one.
Fair enough. Kyler might be the best in the league at that last 2-minute scramble drill. Just make it happen.
He makes people look stupid out there. I couldn't believe last year when they said that this guy was like not a good quarterback or whatever. Oh, they should trade him. He's a bust. Look at him compared to some of these other number 1 picks and, even top 5 pick NFL quarterbacks over the last 10 years. I mean, he's in the top 10%, easily. It's like, he's played on bad teams. You don't get the number 1 overall pick, if you're good, that's for sure.
Fair enough. Ruffalo, talk to me.
Yeah, short and sweet for me here. I'm taking the Ravens. If the Saints can gash you up for 5 yards per carry, and what can the Saints with with the Ravens with Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry can do? I know the Cowboys are going to get their offense in this game with Dak and CD. Against this Ravens pass defense, it has looked suspect at times this season, but at the end of the day, I trust the Ravens in this spot. I never fade Lamar Jackson under a field goal, so I'll take the Ravens in that one. And I'm on the Lions. I think the Lions have the far better front 7 here. I think they have the better offensive line, better defensive line, better linebacking group. I know Kyler Murray's going to make plays with his feet, but at the end of the day, again, I trust the Lions on the road in this spot. I think that at the end of the day, that comes down to the big play, and I trust the Lions to make the big play more than I trust the Cardinals. The Cardinals still flash back to them falling apart against the Buffalo Bills, and I think the Lions get it done here. So taking the Lions.
There you go. It is Alex.
Yeah, there's one game here that stands out from those two, and that's that Dallas game. Now, just looking at league-wide trends, Dallas was pretty embarrassed last time out. I mean, the headlines everybody told you how bad of a game it was for Dallas. They fell asleep at the wheel. I'm not going to point any fingers here. I'm sure Mr. Briggs knows that team very well, and you probably pointed all the fingers for everybody that just quickly, who do we blame for that bad performance?
Zimmer.
Okay, all right. So what I'm looking at here is home teams against the total. This is a league-wide trend, and off an upset loss by 14 points or more as a favorite, as Dallas was in the first half of the season, usually come back with very, very, very strong defensive efforts. Their opponents average 17.7 points per game. I mean, so we're very conservative, very, we'll put it this way, to the point. One of those old-fashioned football games. We don't want mistakes. We don't want any problems, and we want to win. And I think that's what we're going to see here with Dallas. I think we're going to see a low-scoring game. Those games, by the way, were 39.1 points per game combined average. On the flip side, with Dallas winning, we've got a situation where, Dallas, after a game where they had 75 or less rushing yards, and I mean, it was horrible. I mean, they had no balance whatsoever. They've won 6 straight times dating back to the 22 season. Now, this has happened before with Dallas. Really bad efforts followed up by really great efforts. And that's what I think we're going to see today. And as far as the Arizona Lions game, the Arizona and Detroit Lions game goes, I mean, the obvious lean would be, I'm going to say obvious again, to the over. We should see great quarterback play. But you have to remember one thing: the market adjusts to these kinds of lines, to these kinds of matchups, and you have to pay attention to what kind of number you're getting. And if you're not getting the right number, and you're going to be in trouble because there are a lot of under trends that favor this game too long term. So anyway, there we go. Those are the 2 games.
There you go from Alex. And
excuse me,
Brian.
Yeah, I got to say, I agree everything with what you said, Jay, earlier when it was your turn around. Dallas and Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore Ravens, what have they done this year? They're off of a home loss to the Raiders. You're getting a Dallas Cowboys team, which I believe is better on paper, and you're getting a point with them. No, the spread doesn't really matter in this situation. Dallas, really good home team. I think they're going to come in and make up for last week's debacle against the Saints. So I think that's one of the strongest plays on the board. And then Arizona, I'm going to take the points. I think the Detroit Lions are kind of like that guy that goes into the club with a 70s suit on. That was last year's team. I think Arizona. I don't think people have caught up to the Arizona Cardinals. You're going to get +3 with them at home. They should have taken out the Buffalo Bills. So I'm going to take the Cardinals plus the points.
There you go. There you go. Wayne, talk to me.
Yeah, I'm kind of like Mitch as far as that Cowboys-Ravens game. Just a no play for me. Too many contradiction things. It's going to be a good game. But on this Lions-Cardinals, I definitely feel like we can get money with the Lions in this one. I'm not reading into this Kyle Murray hype. Good, solid quarterback. Still a quarterback to me who holds the ball too much. Offensive line has improved, but overall, Lions have the way better offensive line. Aiden Hutchinson is a dog. Had 3 sacks in the first quarter last game. He's going to be all over Kyler Murray's ass. If that mammoth of a man lands on Kyler Murray, we can see Kyler Murray out this game pretty early. Let's not forget that Kyler Murray is a smaller quarterback. But just not feeling the Cardinals hype at the moment. They're going to have to show me a lot more on defense. I know this Lions team isn't great on defense, but to me, they're a lot better than what we're getting from the Cardinals. I think we see a good offensive performance from the Lions after last week, and they can cover this one pretty easily. I'm on the Lions in that one.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Last slot of the day, fellas. Last slot of the day. We're going to do this slot and then also tell the folks what you're selling today over at Pick Dogs Premium. Then we'll do baseball and WNBA and get us all out of here. So, I'm up first. I'm going to go. We have the last 2 games are the 49ers laying 6.5 on the Rams and the Chiefs laying 3 on the Falcons. I'm going to take the Niners and lay the points. I know no Kittle, no Debo, no McCaffrey. Oh, my God. I know all the Brock Purdy haters are salivating by just sitting there just praying, just they are loaded up to fade Brock Purdy because what's their argument with Brock Purdy? What's the only argument with Brock Purdy? There's really only one.
He sucks.
He's a game manager, and he has a lot of great weapons around him. And they don't ask him to do too much. Now he ain't got none of them weapons. He ain't got none of them. So if he come out here and dice these boys up today, I used to be the biggest Brock Purdy hater. I'm no longer that because I respect game. Game respects game. I think he's going to come out here and dice up this Rams team. This Rams team is awful. This Rams team is terrible. This Rams team is overrated. This Rams team is overvalued. I think the Niners just come in here, run the football with Jordan Mason, a.k.a. Baby Marshawn Lynch, run the ball right down the Rams' throat, and probably win this game by like 14 plus. Like, this is probably going to be that late window blowout that we always see. I'm kind of mad that I don't have this one as a premium. The more and more I talk about it, the more and more I like the Niners here. Give me San Francisco. Still, in my opinion, I know they're banged up right now, so probably people wouldn't say it, but they're still the best team in the NFC. They're still the best team in the NFC. I think they beat the hell out of a bad team, even though they're banged up. Purdy, come out here and prove me right today, man, and dice these boys up. Chiefs, Falcons. I think the Niners are still the best team in the NFC, but I think the best team in the NFL is still the Kansas City Chiefs. I told you at the beginning of the season I got this team three-peating to be the first team in NFL history to do it, and I think they're just en route to do so, man. This is a legacy season for these boys. The Falcons, I think last week everybody watched them beat an overrated, overvalued Eagles team. They shouldn't even have the opportunity to do so. The Eagles should have put them out their misery. They should have just turned around and handed the football off, and they wouldn't have had the problem. But no, they want to get cute, throw a little out route to Saquon, dropped it, and then allowed the Falcons offense, who had been terrible just a week ago and was terrible most of that game, to go down and win the game. I watch these football games. I don't know about y'all, but I watch them. I'm not sold on the Falcons. I'm not sold on Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins, first thing out of his mouth after the game, I got to be better. That was the first thing out of his mouth after the game. Well, I don't think you're going to be better against the Chiefs, not on Sunday Night Football. This is still primetime Kirk Cousins. I know he stole one last week, but do we really expect him to win 2? No, hell no. I think the Chiefs come here and bust them up. I'm not going to overcomplicate it. Give me the Chiefs. I'm going to lay the points. What I got for sale today, I got 5 plays in the NFL today. Bounce back week for me. It's a bounce back week for me. Y'all know me. I always call a spade a spade. Last week, I had the worst NFL weekend of my career. I went 0-5 on Sunday. Terrible. And it's never going to happen again as long as I can continue to lock in. Since then, we haven't missed a play. And we're still positive on the season. We're 8-7 on the season after an 0-5 Sunday. That tells you how locked in I've been overall this season. I'm expecting to kick the crap out of the books today. If you believe me, hop on with me. You can scoop up my top play. I got a 3-pack, and you know, however you want to do it, you can do it, or you can hop on something long term. Get my WNBA in there. Playoff start today. So yeah, scoop all that up over at Pick Dogs Premium. Mitch, what you got going, my man?
Yeah, the easiest way to never go 0-5 again is to either give out 6 or 4 picks. But the thing is that in this game, the Niners back-to-back road games, the Rams playing their home opener, another team playing their home opener. There's a few of these today. And the Rams 0-2 coming into this one at home got lit up last week by the Cardinals. This is the Brian Bitler team coming off of getting undressed and also playing in their home opener. I don't listen to much what Brian has to say, but he is right about this. We don't agree. We agree about once every 35 times we discuss anything, but this is one of those. And I think the Rams have a solid chance to win this game outright. The Niners are missing pretty much everybody and on offense, and Bosa is also dinged up on defense. And the thing is that Brock Purdy is not a quarterback that can carry the team on his back. And, when Matthew Stafford missing some key weapons, but I like his chances a lot better of carrying his team and being able to thread the needle and doing what he has to do. Because Brock Purdy last week against Minnesota looked about as sorry ass as you can look. Minnesota basically dared him to throw the football, and they let him throw the football, and it was just paid nothing but dividends. We also have a coaching mismatch in this one too. So Rams for me, probably money line. And the other one, the Falcons and the Chiefs. Well, Chick-fil-A is closed, so probably going to be another closed night for the Falcons. I know a lot of people on the Falcons in this game at home at night and all that other good stuff. And I don't know if there's a team that has a chance to string together some wins to start the season. It's probably the Chiefs. They get all the calls, man. They get all the calls, and I expect this one to be no different. I expect there to be a lot of calls. I tell you what, Taylor Swift shows up, they open Chick-fil-A for her, I'm going to blow a gasket. It's like, I could really go for a Chick-fil-A right now. Let's open it up. It's like, it ain't open on Sundays, man. We all know that.
I hate the Chiefs.
Oh, can't stand them.
Fuck the Chiefs.
Hate them. Travis Kelce, the worst.
Everybody bets the Chiefs.
Oh, Travis Kelce. I hate Kelce. I like Mahomes. I hate Kelce. Chris, it reads like a bad episode of Suits, if there is such a thing. Ever since Ruffalo watched Suits,
I'm never shaking that.
He's litigating. No, you own it.
Yes, I do. It's a good show. Here I'm going to go with the 49ers. Just that patchwork, that Rams offensive line is being held together by duct tape, and I think the Niners defensively break through. I don't expect Brock Purdy to have the game of his career. He just, like Jay says all the time, just doesn't have to wreck the car. And I think that he can do enough here to have the Niners win this one by a touchdown, 24-17, something like that. So give me the Niners in that one, and I am not betting against Patrick Mahomes as a favorite of 3 or less or as an underdog. It just doesn't happen. He just finds ways to win. Like Mitch said, he gets all the calls. The Chiefs get all the calls, and I'm fine with taking the Chiefs in this spot. I'm not trusting Kirk Cousins for back-to-back primetime victories on a short week. So give me the Chiefs there. But for what I got for sale today, got my my platinum play for NFL action. That's for $25. Got that as part of a 3-pack. I got an MLB play, my $15 play, and I got all of them in a 5-pack as well. So definitely a bunch of combinations you can test out depending on what you're looking to bet today. But I got that at Pick Dogs Premium.
There you go. Mitch, you didn't say what you were selling today.
Oh, I got NFL picks, and I have a baseball pick.
There you go.
And WNBA, of course.
No, you don't.
No, I don't.
You're missing out.
Alex, you're up, my man.
Yeah, there's just from all these games here. I'll talk about one of them because I have some plays on the other games that I don't want to sort of let people know exactly where I'm at because it would be too obvious. But anyway, this Jaguars game, it's funny. The Bills keep on. Everybody does this.
That's tomorrow. That's not in the slot.
We can't do it. We can't do it. We can't do that today. Okay.
No.
That's the only one. That's the only one I see from this final spot. I'm sorry.
So what you call that is I'm going to take a straight Ruffalo.
Ruffalo.
Yeah, Ruffalo. Okay.
All right.
Well, he's selling something.
Yeah, what you selling today?
Yeah. I've got my best bet of the day from the NFL aside. I've got best bet total of the day, and I've got the Sunday night NFL game on, and one Major League Baseball best bet, and of course games for tomorrow night.
All righty. Brian, what you got going on, man?
Yeah, I think I might have missed the boat here on the Rams. I think it should have been a premium play. I'm not going to say all the suckers are going to have San Francisco, but I mean the Rams are one of those classic bad teams that covers the number 7-3 last 10. Where you look at the San Francisco 49ers, one of the best teams in the league, 3-7 last 10. This is just one of those classic backdoor covers where the Niners are up 12 or 13 at the end. Rams drive down the field, score a meaningless touchdown, and get us the cover.
McVay is that coach, Brian. McVay is that.
It's the onside kick, right? Try some stupid onside kick, don't get it.
McVay is that
coach. Three knees, and we're out of there.
For touchdown props, I'm going to take Kyle Pitts to score anytime touchdown and Rasheed Rice score an anytime touchdown in the Sunday night game. And for me, my best bet is my titanium play over at pickdogs.com. $25 gets you that winner. 10-1, last 11. Finally starting to heat up after a brutal summer, where you can get all three of my NFL best bets in my private play 3-pack in the NFL, $50. Pickdogs.com.
There you go. Wayne, how you feeling in these two, and what you selling today?
San Fran, LA. Probably for me not to look the way of the under. This Rams team was actually a under team at home last year. Going over 3 out of 8 games. 5 times to the under at home. Like these guys mentioned, plenty of injuries for San Fran. I feel like they're going to lean on the run here. And same thing with the Rams. While they might pull a couple tricks out to try to get this upset or at least to keep it close, I feel like they have no choice but to rely on their run game as well. San Fran defense is solid, and after LA got smacked in the face last weekend, I think their defense has no choice but to come out and play a lot better. So give me the under in that one, and then the Atlanta Chiefs. I like the over. Chiefs went over in both of their games. I don't feel Atlanta has enough to do anything to really stop them on offense. But on the other side of that, I feel like Atlanta is balanced enough with their double running backs and plethora receivers. I feel like they can score as well. This total is 46 points. I definitely believe both of these teams are capable of getting into the 20s pretty easily. So I like the over in that one. As far as what I'm selling, have a 3-pack on the early games. Have my best bet in NFL, coming off a day where I hit my best bet in college football. Loved it with Indiana over Charlotte. Also coming off a 2-0 day at MLB, so I have my best bet in MLB. As these guys stated, I'm a WNBA bettor. I love WNBA. We got the playoffs going today. Only one play in there. Got my best bet in the WNBA for you guys as well. So let's get money on this Sunday.
Let's do it. Jovan, what you got in these two, and what you selling today, my man?
So I was looking at San Fran, but given the fact that they have so many injuries, I just can't play them. It's a no play for me, really. But if you want to lean that way and believe that without that production that they're missing on offense, that they can still do it, take a shot with them. Otherwise, leave it alone. With that said, looking at, I was teetering on the total of the KC Falcons game. I'm gonna go with the over. Just on the strength that you might see a tug of war in this one, back and forth scoring in the second half. So take the over in the second half because I think there's gonna be some fireworks in that particular frame. But the over I think is in play based on the uptick in scoring in the second half. So that's the way I'm looking at that game. What I got for sale, I got a 3-pack in the 1 o'clock time slot, 3 and a 5-pack in the 4 o'clock time slot, and I got a single play in the Sunday night football game. Looking to, expound on my 13-3 performance yesterday. Everything was clicking. It should have actually been better than that. It should have been 15-1, but that's neither here nor there. Just looking to keep it going. So let's get it. Jump us on long term.
There you go. There you go. There you go. All right, fellas. We got a lot of baseball, and we got some WNBA today. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pop you on just like we've been doing. Give me, if you got both, give me one of each. If you want to do two baseball, things of that nature. So that's how we're gonna play it. Ruffalo, you're up first here, my man. Baseball and WNBA.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Fever and the points against the Sun. The Connecticut Sun just keeps struggling to cover these numbers against some of the better teams. They were able to beat up on bad teams down the stretch, but the Fever have been a different team since their last loss to Connecticut. They finished by winning 17-27 down the stretch. So give me the Fever and the points in that one, and give me the Lynx to beat up on the Mercury. They did some of the regular season were on the Haas teams down the stretch. The Mercury, same thing. They couldn't beat anybody, with a pulse down the stretch. So give me the Mercury there. And for MLB, the one I'll take is the over in Diamondbacks Brewers. Just a brutal starting pitching matchup. Montgomery and Montas over 8.5 in that one.
Monty. Crispy hating on Monty, man.
ERA over 6 this late in the year. He deserves it.
I know.
Over 6, sorry. That's over 6, yeah.
Alex, any WNBA baseball for you today, sir?
Yeah, you know what? I look at this one WNBA game. I don't consider it a premium. I don't consider it a top bet or anything. But you have to look at just too many points. I think a regular season game, too many. It wouldn't be too many points with the Liberty playoff game. I'm thinking that's just too many points. New York didn't cover their last game. They've got this strange habit of just continuing to play just strong enough basketball to get by. In their last 10 times off of no cover, they failed to cover 9 of those 10 times. But the interesting part here, the line difference is the most important thing here. We've got less than 5 points. Their wins have only come by less than 5 points, and that means 9 out of 10 non-cover. So I'm just going to say, let's take the points here and plug your nose.
There you go. Brian, how you feeling?
Well, in Major League Baseball, I think I'm going to go with the San Francisco Giants on the money line. You got two teams closing out the season in opposite directions. The Royals lost 5 or 6 in a row. You got Blake Snell on the mound. He's been phenomenal in the second half of the season with a 2.05 ERA averaging. He hasn't been averaging going deep in games, but I think in this one here at this price, I think you take the Giants, and then I'll take the Seattle Storm +9 over Las Vegas. The Aces closed out the season very hot. But this is a Seattle team. I call them scrappy. If you're going to get 9 points, I don't see this being more than a 2-possession win for Las Vegas. I'll take the Storm plus the points.
There you go. From Brian. Wayne, what you got for me today?
Yeah, I'm going to go to MLB first. And this Pirates-Cincinnati game got some line movement, fluctuation back and forth. Cincinnati is playing well the first 2 games of the series. But with Skeens on the mound, I faded Skeens last time out. Typically fade Skeens, but I like him in this spot today to get the Pirates to win. I like the number for them, and I like the way that Skeens played early in the season against Cincinnati. I'm going to ride with Skeens in that spot. I like the Twins with Lopez on the mound. Don't typically love the Twins on the road, but they haven't been playing too bad. Lopez gives them their best shot to win. As long as they can bring the bats 1 or 2 innings, they'll be all right. As far as WNBA goes, I'm with Chris. I like the Lynx against the Mercury. Mercury hasn't shown much signs of life lately. Lynx have smashed them by about in the range of 10 to 13 times, at least 2 to 3 times this season. Lynx out with a vengeance. Younger team really doesn't kind of know how to lose right now, or that they're not supposed to be as good as they are. And until they get proven otherwise, I'm going to ride with the Lynx -9.
Jovan, how you feeling? Baseball and WNBA.
Yeah, just real quick on baseball. San Fran, Snell over Lugo. Not much commentary in any of these games. Red Sox in the second game of the doubleheader. Cutter Crawford, is on the mound, facing Zebby Matthews. I like my chances with the Red Sox, even though they're straight trash right now. Mets, getting plus money at home. Tyler McGill versus the Phillies ace, Zach Wheeler. Sunday night baseball. I like the plus money. I'm just playing the number, betting value. That's it. And Detroit Tigers. Albert Suarez is on the mound for the Baltimore Orioles. The Baltimore Orioles bullpen's trash. They've been on the downswing for quite some time, playing mediocre ball, and the Detroit Tigers, have just played the opposite type of ball. So that's that on that. And as for the WNBA first round of the playoffs, we'll roll with the Indiana Fever. I see them getting a couple possessions. I'm on them against a team that's defensive oriented in the Connecticut Sun. And I'm on the Aces. It's a proven spot for me. The Seattle Storm, they're going to have to prove it, that they can even be competitive against the Aces. Every time they face the Aces, including last week or earlier this week, it's been a whitewash. The Aces smack them up, and they smack them up every chance they get, and they'll continue to until they don't. So, I'll lay the points.
Fair enough. For me, baseball, only one I really like today. Probably should have put it in as a premium. I'm with Jovan. I'm taking the plus money with the Mets at home. Them boys is hot. That's my team. I've been on that wagon. Told everybody I was going to make playoffs. They laughed at me. And I like playing Sunday night baseball teams anyway. I told y'all that all season. Like, I just like playing teams at home on Sunday night baseball. It's like a, hey, look at us style spot. And the Mets, it's just a combination of it all. We're going to beat the Phillies on Sunday night baseball and propel us maybe into a nice little playoff run. So I would lean Mets in that game, especially getting plus money. WNBA, as I said on the layup session, I only see one upset in the first round. And that upset is the Indiana Fever beating the Connecticut Sun. So we're getting plus 180 today. I'm taking Indiana. These are 3-game series in the first round. I'm taking Indiana straight up on the money line every game in the series. Got to. No reason to pass it up. Now we're now in the you got to win or you're going home mode. So I got to attack the plus money while it's there. I think the Fever, this is what I said on the layup session last night. I think the Fever win the night. Sun win next game and force game 3, which will be the first 2 will be in Connecticut. The last one, if the Fever win one, will be in Indiana. I think Indiana, the environment will be rocking, and the Sun not going to be Indiana in Indiana with the series on the line. So I think this the one that's the Fever steal. I'm gonna take them here straight up on the money line plus 180. Mitch, baseball, what you got for us?
I'm just gonna take the easy one. I'm gonna take the under in the Giants Royals game. Lugo, is a reliever turned starter. Generally, these guys, when you get to this point of the season, they usually have run out of gas. But actually, Lugo has actually picked it up over his last few starts. He's looked as good as he has, if not better than he has all season long. Blake Snell, 2-time Cy Young Award winner. First 5 games of the season, you fade him. You take him every game after that, and nearly impossible to hit. He's just filthy. This one, I think runs are going to come at a premium. Go first 5 under. Go game under, go under, and over on strikeouts. I like all the underdogs in the WNBA plus the points.
I started with you, Ruffalo, right? All right. So that brings us to
Parlay
time. Parlay time, ladies and gentlemen. Franchise player Chris Ruffalo, per usual. Lead us off, man. Lead us off.
Yeah, you heard me give it out earlier. All the throw interception. I really like it today. Plus 400. Bo Nix, Will Levis, and Daniel Jones.
You might be on to something right there.
That's our parlay. I love it.
Mitch, what you got for me?
I'm going to take that Colts. freaking coach.
I just knew it wasn't.
I'm going to take the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle Seahawks and the I don't know, man. Give me the Giants. Blake Snell, not the New York Giants. The Blake Snell Giants, not those Giants.
Giants. Jovan, what you got for us?
I'll give a couple out. Football. Packers, Bucks, G-Men. That's the Giants. And put the Panthers in there for some strange reason. Baseball, the four that I gave out: Giants, Red Sox game 2, Mets, and Tigers. And then the two I gave out for WNBA: Fever and Aces. And you could put the Fever money line if you want, if you're feeling it.
There you go. Wayne, talk to me.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a simple 4-teamer. We're gonna double up on Atlanta plus the points, WNBA with Atlanta money line baseball. We're gonna double up Detroit money line NFL with Detroit baseball over the Orioles.
Brian.
These are my best 3 free picks on the board today. Parlay them together. Dallas Cowboys on the money line, Arizona Cardinals plus the 3, and Rams plus the points here today.
There you go. Alex.
Yeah, let's go with some props. I'm going to throw out 3 props for everybody. Alvin Kamara, Saints, over 71.5 rushing yards. Dante Foreman, Browns, over 43.5 receiving yards. And let's go with this one's a shout out for Tony Brown. Let's go with Brock Bowers, Raiders, over 4.5 receptions. So that's the three props for everybody.
I like all 3 of them. I like that too.
Max Crosby to record sacks. That's pretty good.
I got 4 dogs. We're going all money line today. I'm trying to get paid on a Sunday. It's a cross sport, though. We'll start in the NFL. We'll take the Cardinals straight up on the money line. We'll stay in the NFL. We'll take the – who was it? It was the just lost my whole train of thought. We'll swing back, though. Baseball, it was the Mets at plus money, and basketball, it was the Fever at plus money. So Fever, Cardinals, Mets. What was the last one in the NFL?
Spaghetti Arrighetti and the Astros, man. That's
Nah,
little minus 280. Never hurt anyone.
I forgot who that last one was on the late followers. I'm sorry.
Canning.
Oro was a 3-teamer. Plus money. They all plus money dogs. We should get through. We'll see how it happens. But that's the show, ladies and gentlemen. That's the show. We appreciate each and every one of y'all for tuning in. Appreciate all the cappers that pulled up with me today as we talked through some football, talked through some baseball, and some WNBA. Our best bets are Pick Dogs Premium. We'll be back next weekend. We'll be back throughout the week. You can check out everybody's here individual content. Mitch, we doing halftime?
Of course.
All right. Well, I'll see y'all here in a
Got
little
all
bit.
my TVs out there from yesterday.
So we'll see y'all in a little bit for halftime. And then see y'all later. Money Making Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. We out here. Peace.